All right, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, What's Up G, back with another banger, and I am the best reporting on hip hop and entertainment. It looks like we got our boy Drizzy actually giving a shout out to Tory Lanez from jail while Drake's probably in Toronto, messing with some girls, and hopefully they is of age and all that good stuff. But he actually says that he's wishing Tory some well wishes. We're going to get into this reaction. I ain't going to hold y'all for too long. Let's get it, y'all.
And it seems like this Tory Lanez situation is getting crazier and crazier by the day. So if you've been paying attention since 2020, it's been one roller coaster to the next. Last week he was stabbed 14 times, and now today it seems like the overwhelming consensus from everybody is that Tory Lanez might be innocent. And now you have huge public figures who have huge brand deals attached to their name actually coming out with public support for Tory Lanez. In the past few days, we've had Kim Kardashian actually post Tory Lanez song alongside her picture in one of her stories. And now today, it may be the biggest one of all. Drake actually came out in full support for the release of Tory Lanez. Now, he didn't go as far as to say free Tory Lanez, but in my opinion, he took it even a step further. He said, "Come home soon" at Tory Lanez, and then he actually added the change.org link for the petition to sign for Tory Lanez to come home. Now, at the end of the day, even though he didn't say free Tory Lanez, in my opinion, that's a much stronger support for the freedom of Tory Lanez than you can give in general. It's interesting to see how things are turning out, and of course, this is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. But as we all know, Drake kind of always had support for Tory Lanez in the situation, and you could always tell that he always believed that Tory was innocent. Why? Because he quickly sided with Tory in a lot of people's eyes. As you guys remember, he threw some shots at Meg allegedly on the Circle Local record where he said, "Shorty say she graduated, she ain't learned enough. Play your album track 1, K, I heard enough. This B-word lie about getting shots, but she's still a stallion." So everybody kind of took that as, hey, that was a shot at Meg about how she allegedly lied about getting shot. Meg, of course, was not happy to hear that, and she responded immediately with a tweet saying, "Stop using my shooting for clout, B-word, A, N-word. Since when the F is it cool to joke about women getting shot? You N-words, especially rap N-words, are lame. Ready to boycott about shoes and clothes, but dogpile on a black woman when she say one of y'all homeboys abused her." Then she also went on to dissing a lot of people thought was Drake, saying these N-words hate on BBLs and be walking around with the same scars. So a lot of people took that as a shot at Drake because, as you know, the overall rumor with Drake is that he actually has a BBL, and not in the sense of he had his butt done, of course not, pause, but he did get some work done on his abs, and a lot of people are considering that a BBL.
Yeah, everybody did say that he was getting work done on his ass, but I gotta say, I be killing Drake on this channel. This is probably one of the more solid things that Drake has done. He's actually choosing a side and standing on it. After all the information came out about Tory Lanez, he's actually choosing a side and standing on it. Let's keep going, y'all.
Now, this is very, very interesting, and as I said, it's well documented the beef between Drake and Megan Thee Stallion as well. Even though there was never any formal shots thrown at each other with direct name drops, there's been a bunch of subtle hints, and there's been a bunch of context that's been added out there. Like, for instance, in this video right here, you can see that when Megan Thee Stallion hears the Drake song being played, she makes a face and skips it to the next one. In this video over here, you can kind of see that Drake is kind of throwing shots when he starts shouting out his friend Meg in the audience. It says, "Not that."
This was the interview right here that was kind of like where I started questioning Meg when she said, "Did you and Tory have relations?" And she said, "What?" And it's like, yeah, y'all had relations. Yeah, he was nailing you through the wall. This how I knew she was a liar. This when I knew she was a liar. I'm not saying she lied about everything, but this one I knew she was a liar. You get what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
I gotta give a shout out to somebody in here that's been with me since the beginning of my career. Her name is Megan. Meg something, Meg Luck, whatever you know her as. real shit, built this shit with me. Real H-Style legend. Shout out to Meg one time, for real. Not that Meg, this Meg. Yeah.
And it's actually crazy how the narrative of this whole story, which seemed to be solidified for the last 2 years, it seemed as though ever since Tory was convicted, it was like pretty much open shut case that, hey, he did that, he's guilty, F him. However, with all of these new details, Tory getting stabbed, new evidence coming into light, a lot of inconsistencies with Kelsey's stories and with Kelsey getting immunity and Kelsey not being checked for DNA. Then on top of that, Kelsey's bodyguard actually coming out the other day.
Close proximity, and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. Peterson, I'm sorry, Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times.
Crazy.
Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times.
So these are all big things, and I'm pretty sure these all play contributing factors as to why Drake is now 100% standing.
Yeah, because if you remember, Kelsey was actually Tory's girlfriend, and Meg took Tory from Kelsey, and it said that Tory didn't want Kelsey to go to jail for it because, you know, that was actually his girl. All right, let's keep going.
Toes on the side of Tory Lanez needs to be free. It seems as though this might actually be a happy ending for Tory, despite everything that he had to go through. But at the end of the day, these are all still speculations. And one thing that we do have to know, although Kelsey's bodyguard did come forward and talk to Tory Lanez's lawyers, the bodyguard still has not entered that testimony into an affidavit or submitted it to the courts. So as of right now, it still remains unofficial, but I'm sure as soon as it is submitted to the court, Tory Lanez more than likely will be getting an appeal, which he may actually win. And he may end up walking out of that jail. Man, that would be crazy to see. And that would be a extremely crazy turn of events.
That would be a crazy turn of events. Let's look at this again. It say, according to Lane's attorneys, the conviction was not supported by conclusive physical evidence, notably. This is why I said in my last upload, you know, like a lot of people say, oh, I can beat my case by not being proven beyond reasonable doubt. Well, you can also get convicted for not proving or by a reasonable doubt that you didn't do it. Like if it's a gun case and somebody got shot, somebody got to take the rap if we all in the car. So it say no DNA belonging to Lanez was found on the magazine or the firearm. That's insane. So you mean Tory Lanez shot a gun that his DNA isn't on? And it was a hot moment, like nobody cleaned the gun off. It was just, so his DNA just ain't on the gun. So he just walking around like Michael Jackson with gloves on. All right, well. Okay, gunshot residue was detected on both Lanez and Kelsey Harris, yet only Lanez's DNA was tested. So gunshot residue was on Lanez and Kelsey, but his DNA ain't on the gun. It goes with what both bodyguards said. She shot the gun and he was trying to stop her. How come his DNA ain't on the gun? I'm sorry. I'm when you come to my page and say I'm not a journalist, I'm a realist. Sworn affidavits and eyewitness accounts that contradicted the prosecution's narrative were ignored or suppressed. They weren't given to the courts until after the case was done. It's diabolical. Put all that together, I want to know where did Tory do it? He's taking the rap for this. It's looking like, and a lot of people in the industry seen through it. You got people like Chris Brown speaking up, and I think Chris Brown spoke up because he knows what it's like to go up against Roc Nation. I think Drake spoke up because he's privy to going up against Roc Nation. So y'all drop it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. A lot of big celebrities, a lot of big rappers and singers are speaking out about this. Some are being silenced and jailed the next day. Y'all, it's kind of spooky, y'all. All right. If ain't nobody told you they love y'all, I love y'all. Make sure y'all disrespect that like button. I'm out, y'all.